basically did part of my intro before, but basically just continuing on with that rant of him being a bad person in general. Basically, one day it's all going to come back to you, man. Because it's all karma in the end. Like, and it's already affected you a bit with your performance at house swimming. I'm sure we all remember that. Halfway through the year during an introduction, launching into the introduction, and then saying, "Oh, sorry, wait. Good morning, guest speaker," and everyone. Why would you do this? But anyway, really, other than that, working with Jack has been great. It's been a pleasure working with him and getting to know him a little better. So join me in welcoming your school captain, Jack Fotheringham.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start off by actually welcoming someone who was missed out at the start. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Patrick Lowe, President of the School Council. Now, I only really found out I had to do this toast yesterday, and so like all my really good speeches come together during the course of the night. I did most of it during Mr. Smythe's speech, so sorry, Mr. Smythe. But I did actually look up what a toast was on Google beforehand. I like to use my technology. And the sad thing was I only found out how to toast a person. It didn't really say how to toast to an organisation or a school. So what I've done instead is I've basically turned it into a gigantic analogy about MHS to the person. So to start it off, the body of the school would have to be the castle, like all sort of physical. It's a physical exterior. And the students are all housed within the body. Now, I'd like you to think of the students as food for the rest of this overblown analogy. So, first of all, you can sort of think of the mouth as taking in the students, so that would be your entrance examination. That's how you guys were all selected as the best and brightest. And following that, you go on a nice little travel down the esophagus of the school, which I didn't actually work something out for. But you land in the stomach, which is full of digestive fluids. And I know the digestive fluids aren't actually an organ, so the stomach is the organ here. And this would have to be the camps, the co-curricular activities, which are all aided in part by the facility of the school. And they soften you up a bit so you can be moulded and shaped by the teachers into bright young students, future leaders of the world. The intestines of the school. This is definitely for teachers. This is where the waste is moulded. You guys are hit with all that sort of learning and knowledge and stuff that I picked up. From there, that was a joke. Danny Gannon's my biggest fan. Thanks, Danny. The teachers, I want to go off on a bit of a tangent about teachers at school. It really is a unique sort of environment in high school because you don't really see many other schools where there's this sort of level of respect between the teachers and the students as there are at Melbourne High School. And you can almost look upon your teachers as friends, almost. And I think that comes from obviously the boys here are all sort of willing to learn and focused on their studies, and so you really get that sort of sense that the boys are a little bit more than just young men, and they're a little bit more mature and able to deal with class. And I think that makes learning at Melbourne High School a lot better. So from the intestines, your food obviously goes into the rectum, which is the back part of my speech, pun intended. So the rectum is the BCE years, where you're held and prepared to be pushed out into the world. So in these final years in the rectum, you are taught, and your teachers are a little bit nicer, and they're a little bit more lenient. You get your sacks done. You do sort of form a bit more of a bond with your teachers. There's jokes shared and fun times had, like I said in my speech last night. Now obviously, the food is very important. So as a student at Melbourne High School, I can look out upon you and I see quite a diverse mix of students. There's different races, different religions, different socio-economic backgrounds. So in terms of the food, that made me think of some spicy and varied food. As you know, that generally tends to come out like diarrhea. But if we think about the further ramifications of this, the diarrhea is sprayed all over the inside of the toilet. Melbourne High School students find many various professions and they go to various walks of life. You might also notice, and this is a bit more of a poo joke, it's sometimes hard to flush down the remnants of the poo. And this is, you know, there's always Melbourne High School, old boys around. You know, you never know where you're going to be. He's an old boy. And so, to be like a little story about that, when I used to live up in the country, one day I rocked up after school in Melbourne because I was still seeing the same orthodontist for my braces. I rocked up in my school uniform and he's gone, "Whoa, you go to my old school!" I'm like, "Yeah, seems like it." And then he went into the usual sort of stuff about reminiscing about how good the old days were. So with this little analogy and eye-opening view into how the school actually works, I'd like to ask you all to raise your glasses to make a toast. A toast to one of the schools, the fantastic, the fantastic teachers and amazing friends that we've experienced in the past few years, since the past 2008.
St. George Morris.
Is everyone filled up yet? Alright.
I win.
Melbourne High School.